Welcome back to another blind tasting episode of Drinking Through a Mask. This is wine number 6, our final wine of flight number 1. Don't worry, I have plenty of wine to blind taste, so look for a new blind tasting video every Monday and Wednesday. Just a reminder, all of these wines have come from a Master of the World blind tasting kit. You can get your own at mtwwines.com. Check out the link in the description below. And while you're there, hit that like button for me. It's the best way to show your support. Hit that subscribe button and join the team. All right, let's get started.
Pretty girl in Bobby socks. After party in a hotel room. Pretty soon there will be no moon. Stumble home in the pouring rain.
Number 6 is a red wine. It is free of gases, free of flocculation. It is completely opaque. I can't see anything through it. Purple in color, high intensity. The rim is magenta. And as you can probably see, lots and lots of staining going on. And the viscosity is high. All I know is the wine is sound. The wine is medium plus in intensity and smells youthful. All right, the fruit condition here, or the fruit and the fruit condition. We've got really ripe black fruit, black currants, blackberry, mulberry, and maybe a little prune thing going on as well. We've got some blueberries and boysenberries to talk about at the same time, and a little bit of red fruit in the background. We've got some red raspberries, red cherries. Very concentrated. Stewed, reduced, overripe florals. Definitely some violets to talk about, maybe a little bit of hibiscus. I'm not big on the green stuff. On the other kind of vegetations, a little bit of mushroom, rhubarb, baking herbs, thyme and sage, a little bit like a tobacco thing. Spices, yeah, for sure. Definitely have like a ginger powder, 5-spice thing going on to it. Maybe a little bit like a smoky kind of black pepper thing. Earthiness all in the background here. This wine is very kind of fruit forward, but I would definitely throw in a little bit of like a dusty, graphite kind of minerality. Oak. It's not dominant. A lot of times you think on a wine that's this concentrated that it might be an oak bomb at the same time, but it seems to kind of be just, really fruit forward. I'm going to say this wine does not have new oak on it, but I do think it probably saw time in some barrel. Oxidation, not really, to tell you the truth. Kind of goes along with my thinking on the oak. There isn't really any kind of nuttiness going on here. Maybe a little bit of volatile acidity. Like that's kind of like a vinegary kind of thing, but not. So the wine's dry. Acid level is medium minus. Alcohol level is high. The tannin level it's really grapey tannin. I'm gonna throw it in like the medium plus. The texture here is, I'm gonna say it's round and smooth because there's so much just fruit just kind of coating everything. The finish is medium plus. The complexity here is medium. I don't think after the fruit and the flowers, there's not a whole lot to talk about. So, pre-conclusion, I think this wine is from the New World, from a warm climate. Possible varieties here, I think, could be Malbec, Zinfandel, Syrah as an outlier, but I think I'm going to focus on the first two there. United States, Argentina, maybe Australia. Recent vintage for sure, 2016 or younger. Between those two, we're talking about Zinfandel and we're talking about Malbec. The color was definitely purple. I didn't get a lot of that like Zinfandel, light, fruity, more candied kind of thing. Could be Petit Syrah. Haven't really ever blind tasted Petit Syrah. Actually, that's not true, but that was a special event. Those of you that were there remember it well. And let's go ahead and call this a 2018 Malbec from the Mendoza region of Argentina of high quality. Okay, here we go, putting our tasting into the Master of the World website. Again, check out the first 2 videos of this flight if you want to see me do this a little bit more in depth. I'll also go through this process a little bit more deliberately in some upcoming videos. And our score? Okay, pretty good. In the conclusion at least. Definitely a couple things to look at in the sensory score. Only 3 out of 5. Some places for improvement. Seems like I overstated a few things. The color was maybe just back down at ruby rather than the purple I talked about. The fruit condition was a little bit more to the fresh and ripe rather than the raisinated and dried and jammy things I was talking about. a host of items in the herbal and earth categories that I kind of glossed over, but the biggest thing here to talk about is oak. Back in the tasting I said I thought there was oak on the wine, just not any new oak. Then as you see, as I put that into the website, I put no oak influence at all and lost a lot of points. Based on what I said in my tasting, I should have put a yes and then a low oak intensity, which still wouldn't have been right, but it would have been a whole lot closer. And then I should have validated my thoughts with some actual tasting notes from the oak. Okay, so this can kind of relate to today's lesson. Always ask why. Why does the wine smell like vanilla and toast? Why does the wine have ripping acidity? Why is this wine so creamy? Thinking through questions like that is what's going to help you understand a wine and identify it if you're blind tasting. Okay, so the wine was indeed Malbec from the Mendel Winery in Mendoza. The vines for this wine sit at 3,115 feet, giving them unabated access to sunlight and very mild temperatures, especially at night to preserve acidity. I like how in the second paragraph here, they talk about the different styles of Malbec ranging from north to south in Argentina. But for blind tasting purposes, I'd focus on that classic Mendoza style first. So just to recap this whole first flight here on Drinking Through a Mask, we learned a few things. 1, don't miss sections of the grid. You can't get points for anything you don't say, and if you're struggling with this, use a grid or something to guide you through a tasting in the same way every single time. Soon enough, it will become secondhand and you won't have to use it at all. Number 2, fruit condition and non-fruit descriptors are definitely more important than the fruits themselves. Every white wine smells and or tastes like lemon and apple. Every red wine has some kind of cherry note. We gotta be specific. Number 3, oak is important. Check out wine number 4 of this flight for a lot more thoughts about oak. And number 4, most importantly, this is a deductive process. Use your clues to eliminate wines from your conclusion rather than jumping to a conclusion because you smell or taste 1 or 2 things. And that's it. This concludes flight number 1 here on Drinking Through a Mask. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed these videos, and look for more each Monday and Wednesday, as well as my What Am I Drinking Today videos for some quick and fun nuggets about all things beverage. Don't forget, you can get your own 6 wine blind tasting kit at mtwwines.com. The link is in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to put them in the comments down below, or you can hit me up on my Instagram. Have a good day.
High five bone box, pretty girl in Bobby socks. After party in a hotel room, pretty soon there will be no moon. Stumble home in the pouring rain.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another blind tasting episode of Drinking Through a Mask. This is wine number 6. That's 7 fingers.